Hello and welcome to BikeComparos. Today we are going to compare Vespa 946 Emporio Armani versus LX125. Pricing and features. The Vespa 946 Emporio Armani edition retails for a mind-numbing 13.5 lakh rupees on road Mumbai. The Vespa LX125 on the other hand has a sticker price of just 79,000 rupees, which makes it a sensible 12.5 lakh rupees cheaper than the 946. In terms of equipment, the 946 gets bigger 12-inch wheels, ABS and traction control, disc brakes at the front as well as rear, LED headlamps and a cheap little digital instrument cluster over the LX125. Performance and tractability. The Vespa 946 shares the same powertrain as the LX125 with surprisingly little modifications. On top of that, the 946 is a good 32 kgs heavier than the LX125, making it noticeably slower than the LX, especially while accelerating from standstill. Both scooters also fall short on refinement with a coarse and clattery exhaust noise. Handling and ride quality. The 946 has a longer wheelbase, wider tires, and bigger wheels than the LX125. This obviously makes the 946 better than the LX125. 946 Europe-specific suspension setup feels slightly stiff than the Indian-specific setup of the LX125. But in spite of that, the overall ride quality is better on the 946, especially at higher speeds, where it maintains better composure and holds its lines better. Handling too is much better on the 946 with outstanding grip around the bends and excellent agility as well. However, in spite of its stratospheric price tag, the 946 still doesn't get the telescopic suspension. Therefore, even though it may be better than the LX, overall it is not even as good as its own stablemate, the Aprilia SR150. Heck, even the humble TVS Vego and Jupiter are dynamically more adept than the 946. Comfort and ergonomics. The 946 is available with the option of either the marvelous floating single seat or a slightly extended version of it, which is supposed to be a double seat. Not only does the add-on extension greatly reduce the floating look of the seat, but it is too small to be of any use, except for the most anorexic of the pillions. It is best to go solo if you ever happen to afford the luxury of owning a 946. The LX125 on the other hand has a conventional perch, which is also inadequate for anybody apart from cozy couples. The lack of a flat floorboard is also a limiting factor in terms of practicality for both the scooters, although you won't really be carrying gas cylinders on the 946 floorboard anyways. Fuel efficiency. In our back-to-back test, the LX125 was consistently 2 kmpl more efficient than the 946. This translates to a difference of 28,000 rupees in fuel cost over a usage of 60,000 kilometers. Reliability and after-sales service. Piaggio needs to get its act together when it comes to the durability and service support of its scooters. Vespa remains the least hassle-free of all the modern scooter brands in the market, and the 946, with its imported parts and inadequately trained technicians, is bound to be a real nightmare to maintain. Resale and cost of ownership. Judging the resale value of a Vespa 946 after a usage of 5 to 7 years cannot be anything more than a wild guess. Nevertheless, you would be lucky to get anything more than 2.5 lakh rupees on the used bike market in 2022. The LX125 on the other hand is bound to fetch around 35,000 rupees after similar period of usage. Overall, the Vespa 946 works out to be a ridiculous 10 lakh rupees more expensive than the LX125 in terms of overall ownership cost. The final verdict. Frankly speaking, there is no logical reason to pay 12 lakh rupees over a LX125 for the 946. Forget about flaunting its style. Most people aren't even going to be able to differentiate it from other Vespas. What's even worse is that it is going to be even more underwhelming for the rider since it is less powerful as well as less torquey than the LX. It is hard to imagine what the folks at Vespa were snorting when they decided to launch this beauty as a CBU import in India. Forget about buying it. You would be lucky even if you got to actually see one on the road. We can't help but consider a scenario in which Piaggio could have localized the production of the 946 in India. The powertrain is same as the LX125, so half the job is already done. Vendors in India are easily capable of providing the cycle parts and the monocoque chassis, and body panels would require new tools and higher standards of fit finish. Even then, the price would not exceed that of a Royal Enfield Thunderbird or a KTM Duke 390, and they would have still have no direct rival for probably the next 50 years.